I've been talking to more people who have felt, I should say, election night a feeling of death, and people that they've known through friends and family of mine, people who felt the same thing, a feeling of death. It's never fear, hurt, or anger. It's that word death, the feeling that something died. It seems very clear to me that it got through like a needle through the heart. Not like a punch in the heart, but like a needle piercing the heart, that it got through to the general public, that we've lost our country and things are really, really bad. Intellectually, people don't get it, I don't think, because they're numb. It's a purely emotional reaction of, oh my God, what's happened? How could this happen? They got back in, they got in with the majority government this time, and they're a bunch of criminals, and look at what's happening. And they turn on the media for a sense of direction. The media says, everything's fine, nothing to worry about. Things will carry on as usual. And no, things have changed. Things aren't like they used to be. So I think that, I don't want to say that people are waking up or that they know, I just want to say that it's gotten through. I think a lot of people, I'm not saying everyone, but a lot of people felt it. A lot of people know, if not just on an emotional level, in their hearts they know something is really horribly wrong with this country, but they don't necessarily know what to do about it. And what will happen is what always happens with people, or it usually happens, and they'll go back and forth for a sense of direction. They won't find one, and then they'll say, oh, well, what are you going to do? Life goes on. Nothing I can do about it. The thing is, it is better, because they'll know to themselves things are a lot worse than they were. Meanwhile, they have to raise families. Some of them might be lawyers, politicians, media personalities, or just people who are outspoken. And more people are going to come out of the woodwork. More people are going to start paying more attention. And people are paying attention. A lot of it's down to the internet. But more than just that, when things like this happen, and again, this really got through, I really think it did. People before wouldn't listen. Anything, we're talking about how bad things are, the globalist agenda and whatever. People just didn't want to hear it. But this hit home, this sunk in. This really sunk in, not just on an emotional level, but that's good. It stirs people up. And right now they're numb, they don't know what to think, but it's a good time to kind of nudge people, not too hard maybe, to scare them off, but to nudge people into thinking about some things, and again, nothing too heavy, but just to encourage people to get thinking about things, and to maybe take a look at some alternative news and realize that they're not being told everything. It's recently come out that we are at war with Libya. That's right, Canada is attacking Libya. And I keep turning on the television to CBC News. I hardly watch TV anymore, but I do watch the news once in a while when there's something going on. And I can't find anything, any mention of this. We are at war with Libya, and there's nothing. But it's not entirely the media's fault. There is partly a reason for this. As the Canadian press explains, besides the fact 240 laser-guided bombs have hit Libya, the Canadian forces have deemed several other key aspects of the country's mission in Libya too sensitive for public consumption. That's right. We don't have the right to know what the Canadian military is doing in Libya, what it plans to do, and how much it costs. We're not being told how much this is costing us, our own money. Don't you see? Clearly. We have no right to information in this country. We have no right to know anything other than some very basic things to give us the illusion that we're in on it, that we're in on the know, that we're being let know about things that we're not. We're outside the loop of what our leadership is doing. As well as it came out recently, as announced at the White House, Harper is involved, not he himself, but has made the decision that Canadian forces will help train Libyan soldiers to fight alongside the Canadian soldiers, and that's something that has been kept very hush-hush. And as well. A number of Muslim clergymen were bombed by NATO, and it was the largest amount of deaths of any single strike during this war in Libya, or war on Libya, really we should call it. And one Muslim had this to say about it. He was calling on the world to, quote, to take revenge for our brothers who died today. For every man, we should take down 1,000 men from NATO countries. In other words, Canada included. That's how you make enemies. You go and attack people. End quote. Even Nazi Germany respected mosques and churches, he declared. NATO is going beyond what Nazism did, and we are there helping them. King Harper is taking us into war, but he will now seek approval for further measures with Parliament. Of course, because he controls Parliament. He controls everything. The silver lining is more and more people are waking up to what is going on. The silver lining is that a lot of people know in their hearts something is horribly wrong. And I don't know, we should nudge them gently, maybe we should shake them more firmly. But we have to get through to people. Things are changing very fast. And it's time. People need to be aware. Now that people know in their hearts something is horribly wrong, we need to get through to people, to these people. At the very least, talk to people you know. See how they feel about the election. Talk to other people. Everyone has the same feeling that Canada has died. Then they should talk to each other. They should realize they're not alone. They all feel the same. When they look at the television and they hear TV saying everything's normal, everything's fine, it'll be all the more apparent that the system is lying to them and trying to keep them submissive and mindless to what is really going on in this country and outside of this country. We, the people, are certainly not in control of what the system is doing. We have to stay informed. We have to get informed. We have to care. We have to take back the system. And we can't just sit back afterwards and just let the system run things for us. That was a mistake. That's what we can never do. If we've learned anything through this, we should have learned that in a democracy, the people cannot sit back and trust in the powers that be to run things for us. Power tends to corrupt, especially those who seek power, because those who seek it usually seek it for the wrong reasons, and it's usually egoism. And when they get it and they feel that ego, they think they're bigger and better than everyone else, and they don't mind bombing and killing people, and this shocks ordinary people. How can people be so evil and so twisted? They've been throughout history. This is nothing new. This is the way people can be, or some people can be. At any rate, it's partly each of our fault for not being more active in the past. And it will certainly be our fault if we don't take action now and allow things to continue to progress worse and worse and worse, because our children and their children and their children are going to have to live in this country, if there indeed is a country to live in anymore. Because, as some of us are aware of, there's going to be a North American Union as being planned. And the North American perimeter, recently announced by Obama and Harper, is the first stage of this. After all, it requires a, quote, massive overhaul of Canada-US security. And as Harper said at the G20 in Toronto, these G20 meetings, globalism, involves a loss of national sovereignty. As he said at the G20 in Pittsburgh, we need a new global governance. Global governance. We will lose our sovereignty, as Harper himself has said. We will lose our country if we don't stand up and fight for what is right for the people, for our democracy. It's time to face things for as they really are. It's time to make other people see, to get through to them. This is all important. It is a war of words right now, not a war of actions. A war of peaceful actions, of struggle of peaceful actions is going to have to be the next stage. Right now, what all of us here can do is pay attention and try to promote awareness to other people. More importantly than just words and information, though, is really getting through to people. And that is the silver lining with this election fraud. Very clear election fraud, in my opinion, is that it did get through. Like a needle through the heart, it touched a lot of people in this country, and they get it emotionally. They just don't know what to do about it right now.